explain the desktop virtualization. I will tell desktop virtualization, but first we'll see what is a application virtualization. So I copied two statements from different sites, right? Application virtualization is a software technology that encapsulates computer program from underlying operating system on which they are executed. Fully virtualized application is not installed in a traditional sense, means not an operating system, although it still execute it as if it were. So application virtualization is a process that deceives a standard app into believing that it is interfaced directly with operating system capacities when in fact it does not. This Rus I don't know what is this requires a virtualization layer instead between the our app and OS. Very simple. Again, what is the virtualization? The question of virtualization is it's intact with its dependent sources. For example, this is a system and we have a operating system on it, right? So we have operating system and hardware on a system, right? So you install a application. So to install this application, we require a operating system and a runtime environment. So operating system supporting files, environment, and runtime environment to run the application, to install and run the application. Okay. Anyway, to run the application, it consumes your physical hardware resources, and it runs on your operating system layer only. So this is a traditional way. But what they done in virtualization, application is there, operating system is there, and hardware is also there, but it is intact with your operating system. It utilizes your operating system sources and runs, but it is completely intact. Intact means this application can run from multiple users. One application can be run by multiple users, can run these applications remotely. Okay, so it is not in a one sense, it is multiple users can access. And second one is you can move this application from one place to another server. So that is called as a application virtualization. Practically we can't see that one anyway. So different organizations provide different applications to make it virtualize the application. Different applications are there to virtualize the applications. So Microsoft AppV, VMware providing a Horizon for both desktop and application virtualization purpose, and ZenApp is also works like that. Otherwise, you can check in a Google what are the different application virtualization provided like this. This is a Citrix, ZenApp. Um, Go to this. This is VMware. So we can use application or a desktop as a service, managed hypervisor, aka virtual machine, monitor or a VMM. So many things are there. So what are the benefits of using this? Is at least we will try to understand. Allow running of legacy apps. Example develop for end of life. Like this saying, enable cross-platform operating system, prevent conflicts with the other virtualized apps, permits user to run multiple apps instance. If not virtualized, many apps can detect running of instance now won't allow once. So many things are there. This much you can. So here it is given. Horizon, Horizon Cloud on a Azure, Horizon Apps, IBM Cloud. IBM is also one of the cloud service provider, multi platform cloud service provider, both private and public services. Okay. What is AppKey? It's a Microsoft application virtualization for Windows 10 deliver 32 application to user as a virtual application. Virtual applications are installed on a centrally managed server delivered to user as a service in a real time on a as needed basis. Okay, so just you can go through once and read it. It is a better option. Mm. In other ways, you can say it is enhanced mode kind of stuff. Like it is look like it is installed in your PC, but it is not actually running in your PC. It is running in somewhere. If you say in a cloud, it is software as a service also comes under this one. And another one is desktop application, desktop virtualization. So I will go to
It's a WhatsApp web on computer.
yeah, we can say WhatsApp web or WhatsApp. It is actually exactly say not that one. It is installed, right? It is installed. It is connected, but it is connecting. It is running here only. Actually, if I open again, it will take more space from me. This is the Facebook game room. It is an application, but inside of this console, it run lot of applications. Yes, as you said that is one. What is that? Facebook games, browser games. The game is not actually sharing resources from here and their remote server also. So I open it, but it is not opening. You can say like that. To understand these apps and all, so how it is runs, we have to understand the desktop virtualization first. Before that one, desktop virtualization, few things we should understand. Yeah, it is opening. Maybe we should tell that one or not. I don't know, but we can say we'll try. I'll tell you one lengthy story, so then we'll see how much you will understand. Okay. For first of all, remote desktop. For example, this is a desktop, means a PC. Okay. So this is a desktop. For example, desktop name is D1, and I have a system. I have a system. Now, in the D1, there is some applications are running. Applications are running. So it contains an operating system. Of course, in the bottom it is having a hardware layer. Okay, and it is connected to network. It is connected to network. Now, maybe you know this one in your college, but just try to understand from starting story. Okay, so this is a computer C1. Now, it running some application. For example, MS Office something application is running. My system is not having a capacity to run that application, or I don't have a license for that one. Okay, I don't have application license, or I don't have a running a application here. Okay, so I can't install that application here. For example, heavy applications are there, no? So my system is don't have that much of capacity, so I don't want to install it. So what I do, I took this remote desktop, RDP. What is RDP? Remote desktop protocol. Okay, so I access this desktop here. First I will access the desktop D1 with the user, and I can access the desktop. I can work with this application at whatever I want it. Entire system applications I can able to access it. Understand, that is a remote desktop. So how to access a remote desktop? Go to MS TSC. Okay, give the IP address or whatever it is the name of IP address or computer name. Give the IP address and computer name, username, connect it. Then it will ask for the password. Give the password. Once you are connected, this desktop is appear in the C1 PC. So D1 computer API on this one, so I can work on it. In Windows operating system, we have a limitation. In Windows, mainly in Windows, we have a limitation. Means one PC, one user type. One PC, one user. At a time, only one user can able to log into one PC. Two users cannot able to log into one PC directly or remotely. Directly or remotely. For example, this is having a user. For example, user one. I log in here remotely. It means it is log off from here. What happened here? It is what happened? It is log off. Here it is login. It means it is log off here. Okay, so in one PC, one user can log in either directly or remotely. So when I log in remotely, this will be log off and it will appear here. So that is a Windows condition. So at a time, one user can able to log in. It is not a multi-user type. Unlike Linux, Linux is a multi-user type. Windows is an not multi-user type. It is one time one user only login. If you log off, you log in with another user, and log off that user, log in with another user. Like that only we can able to. At a time we can't log in. Either it is directly means physically, or using RDP also same thing. When you connect with RDP, this will be log off. So this is simple to understand. Next, understand the condition. The problem is I have a multiple PCs are there. Okay, this is the first condition. Second one, I have a no. This is the first, that is the condition. One PC, one login kind of stuff. Um, then we'll go to C2, C3. Why it is good. I accidentally selected something. Okay. Now all these PCs want to access same application. This desktop. This desktop, that application want to access from these PCs. Now it is very difficult, right? What is the Windows condition? So if you are in a Windows environment, what is the condition? One PC, one user only. So we can't able to log in. So what Microsoft will provide for these conditions? So for Windows, Microsoft providing in Windows systems on Windows platform. Okay, so it is tell if you want to access more than one user, if you want to access remotely with more than one user at a time, so you have to buy a license. You have to buy a license. Multiple users licenses, multiple desktop license is there. So that is called a remote desktop license are there. So you have to buy from Microsoft. Okay, remote desktop licenses. If you want to use more than one user log into same desktop, so you must buy a licenses. For example, I purchase a 5 remote desktop licenses, RDP licenses, RD. Okay, 5 licenses I purchase it. So I'll put a in license means you have to buy a license. In that license, you have to bind the users. So user one, user two, user three, user four, user five, like 5 users license. I created 5 users, and each one is linked to license. So I put a file 5 users. These are the 5 users can access the system remotely. So because I purchase a 5 license only. So here I access D1 PC with a user one, D2 PC user two. Sorry, D1 PC same PC. PC is the same, but user is different, and each user will get a different profile data. When you log in with the user profile data is there, right? Okay, when you log in with the user profile data is there. The profile data also stores here only. Profile data also stores in this PC only. Application is also here. Operating system is also here, and the required other things also here. Okay, everything is here only. Just we are accessing in remotely. Mission is running here. Mission is running here, and we are accessing remotely. Okay, so this is a remote desktop servers. Using a remote desktop servers, we can able to connect single desktop, multiple users. We can log in using RDP. Using RDP, we can access, and we can run the application here, and we can run the application here and here. Same application I am running with the different users. Sometimes some applications, single user applications are there, some are multiple user applications also there. Like you install some application, you log in with other user, that application is not appear for other user. Or when you installing an application, it will show you an option for this user, for all users. Application for this user, for all users. So all users means all users in the PC. For this user means only work for that user only. So sometimes applications also require multi licensing. Sometimes, like a Microsoft MS Office is there, single license, single product, single user license only, not multi user license. Okay, in general I am telling. Okay, so what happened here, I log in here, I'm running these applications in my desktop. Once work completed, I close it. The data is also saved in here only. Data is centrally stored. The profile data is stored here. Application related data store, application is also here only. I'm accessing from here. Okay, so this is what the people are using. Why we are using like this? So there is a two three things are there. One is, the main important one is cost reduction. Cost reduction. Hmm. Have you seen this thing like a thin clients? Okay, that's why I said you may seen in a college also. Okay, so these are thin clients. This is a thin client. So nowadays people calling this little bit extra. Okay, so they call it as a mini pieces also. Some little bit development extra facilities. So here it is thin clients. It means there is a main host PC is there, and it is connected to, these are the thin clients. Small boxes are there. Na? This is a small box. It contains a very basic processor, RAM, and a small storage space is there. It is not used for it installing traditional operating systems or applications in the one in this one. It's nothing but it is a small connector, just like a hub or a switch type only. It is used to connect the remote PC only. Okay, and is also having a facility. See, you can see LAN connector, VGA connector, USB ports. Some are having a PSB ports also. Depends upon the version. Okay, so what it is do, it is having a main connector at a host. These are a terminals are there. Okay, so what is the advantage of it? The cost of this thin client is very less. See how much cost? Very less, right? It is a 512 MB RAM, 4 GB ROM. ROM is there, 4 GB RAM, not RAM. It means it contains a basic operating system kind of stuff. And it's a 1 gigahertz dual core A7 type processor is there. You can see like this. This is a power connection, LAN connection, VGA, USB connections. NAND flash also there. You can see so many different type of thin clients like that. Oh, this is a Airtel box and that's a different one. See, this is another type of thin client. This is a very costly one. See, but you can get it from 1500, 2000, 3000 like. This is a mini pieces. This is mini PC. These are cost. Why it is showing cost things? So you can type what is the thin clients and the different type of thin client PCs here. Okay, it is not even showing that one. You can Amazon type only thin clients. See, this is a very costly, very less costly one. It's a 1 GB RAM is also there inside. Okay, but this is not used for a regular computer purpose. Not used for a regular computer purpose. It is having a two type connection. Means one side it is connected to N computing, N computing one. Okay, this is this is also N computing. So to complete setup, this a big one is going to for a main PC. These two are going for a remaining desktop. Just you have to connect your keyboard, mouse, and monitor. That's it. Okay, so I can reduce the cost of actual desktop cost. Normal desktop to run the application and all. So you need at least 20 to 30,000 rupees cost. You have to put it minimum 15, 20, 25, 30,000 depends upon what processor RAM capacities are you are using. So this is a more cost on my PC. So better I'll take one high configured PC, install all applications, and buy a Microsoft licenses and access remotely. So then we can access the system. Okay. So this is called a thin client, and second one is remote desktop licenses. Okay. Now, so what I'm accessing remote desktop. Why I'm accessing remote desktop? Guys, and sorry, guys, understand this remote desktop concept. Multiple users accessing same desktop remotely, thin clients. You understood or not? Because I'm keep on speaking. Um, I didn't ask you to at least. I'm not slow down. I'm keep on speaking. Guys, anybody understand? One understand also. Okay, no problem. Understand the remote desktop concept?
Yes, sir.
But I didn't get point, but I think you guys are understand. Very simple. This is my desktop. You are seeing my desktop. If you access my desktop directly means like through RDP. If you are accessing, that is called a remote desktop. So you can control it or you can view it. Okay, we can view, we can control, you can use my applications remotely. So that is a remote desktop protocol. Remote desktop sharing protocols are there. Desktop sharing is different. Remote desktop is different. Remote desktop, I log off and you log in. That is remote desktop type. This time log off and you are accessing. You are logging. So only one user. Desktop sharing like a VNC is a desktop sharing. Real VNC, Tiger VNC, Tight VNC, whatever it is the name is. So that's a VNC is a remote desktop sharing. TeamViewer, Google Meet, Skype. Now lot of application log me in. So there are a lot of applications are there to share the desktop. Means I am also you viewing desktop. You are also viewing the desktop. You are not logging with a particular user profile kind of stuff. But remote desktop is you are logging with user. Okay, you are logging with the my PC user. So that is one important. Second one is multi users. If you want login, you need a multi user license. It is required. If it is a Microsoft mainly, you can different computers. They log in with the different users of remote desktop users. They can log in. They can view the desktop. They can run the desktop and applications. But what is the point of accessing the desktop as my given application? There is a check mark is there. What is the point of accessing desktop, remote desktop? Point. Why I'm accessing the desktop? What is the purpose of accessing that desktop in my PC? Anyone? No one? Yes, for accessing that PC application. For accessing that PC application here. So I want to access that application from my PC. I can't access the application. So I'm accessing desktop. So then I can access the application. So okay. So that's purpose. So I got an idea. What if I isolated this application? So user directly access the application directly from here. They can access the application from their system directly instead of accessing entire desktop. Of course, license is license only. Instead of accessing entire desktop, can I access only application? Right? Got the question right? Instead of accessing entire desktop, what client required application? That application only I will give. That application only client will access. Why? We should give all the applications, entire desktop. So only one application they required, or maybe one or two applications required. So only that applications only I will give them. I don't give other things. Okay. So that is also there. So you can go to the control panel, find out where is a remote desktop and a sharing kind of stuff. Here, find out where is a remote desktop. Anything recovery region? Yes, remote apps and desktop connections. Remote app and desktop connections. You can see remote app and desktop connections. Click it. It is connected to the desktop and program at your workplace. There are no currently, so accessing remote desktop like this. I'm going to this option. It is showing like this: email address or a URL. So when I put a particular URL and next connect it, my enterprise application appears here, and I can use that application directly instead of accessing remote desktop. Understand? That is called a remote apps. That is called a remote apps. Where it is? I told about a remote desktop. Next, remote app. So instead of accessing entire desktop, so if user can able to access only application, user can able to what are the applications are required, that application only they will access. So I will do in my system means in D1. So username and I will list out these users. These users can access these applications, and whenever the client is get client give a connection, so the C1 is request a connection like a user one login, so that application appear on the screen, so he will access the application. So application runs he is accessing application here with the username user1. Application is accessing here but actually running here only. Same thing will goes here also. This application running here and uh, accessing here means working application here, but actually it is running in a remote place only. This is also possible using remote desktop only. Remote desktop server is required. Okay, remote desktop server, using that one we can tell what applications and which users can able to access. Of course in Microsoft we need everything license is important. Okay, so multi-user accessing same application, that is also required licenses. Okay, so instead of accessing remote desktop I'm accessing remote application. Here 2 points are there again. So in a remote desktop, each individual user accessing same desktop but different users. If you log in with a user, it means a profile data is created. That profile data stores in D1 PC only, means main PC only, the profile data also stores. So that's keep in that mind. Okay, that is called user profile virtualization thing. So you can go to the virtualization part. So you can see that user state virtualization kind of stuff. Okay, user state virtualization. UE hyphen V. Where is this? UEV. No. UEV. User experience virtualization. This is also a virtualization. User experience virtualization. Okay, so this is what is a user experience tool that enable user to move from one window device to other, maintain same operating system and application settings. Okay, so users template to specify user and settings it will save. So from anywhere you log in, you can get same kind of thing. So this is all connected only. So to understand one by one layer of evolution of entire different type of virtualization things, so I'm starting like this. Okay, the ultimate solution for this one. So virtualize user settings and application also. Okay, virtualize your application, so then user can able to access the application from anywhere. So it is quite easy, you don't need to do all the so many steps. Just virtualize your application using a app v kind of stuff. Application is intact with your operating system, so user can able to access that application from anywhere. Okay, from any pc. You can move the application from one pc to another pc if required based on that one. Okay, so next one is user profile data also you can easily maintain. If you do user profile data application, so we can achieve desktop virtualization. Actually, in a desktop virtualization there is a two parts. I'm speaking about second part. Two parts are there in a desktop virtualization. I'm talking about second part of virtualization, desktop virtualization. So what is this desktop virtualization? It's the same infrastructure but understand in different way. There are two ways are there. One is the remote desktop way is there. Another one is server virtualization ways only. Server virtualization means server, hypervisor, and then create a virtual machine. We create a virtual machine in a server. It means it's a server virtualization. But we virtualize the desktop of this virtual machine. We virtualize this desktop. It means the application contains in the virtual machine and user profile contains in this machine. So then users, multiple users can able to access these virtual machines in their system. Multiple users can able to access these applications or desktops or based on user profile, so they can able to access run. So it will run here, they can access from their pcs. This is another set of desktop virtualization. Okay, to do application virtualization, so different tools are using application virtualization. Different tools are using for user experience virtualization also. There is different tools are, and in application virtualization and desktop virtualization, common things are there. So one of the thing is xp mode. XP mode. What is this XP mode? This is again is another set of desktop virtualization using application virtualization. It's a very old one. Windows 7 time. Windows XP is a beautiful operating system loved by so many people, and that is Service Pack 2 only. When Windows XP launched, it is a Bakwas operating system only. It is always repaired. But Service Pack 1, Service Pack 2 is a more stable. Everybody start loving. So whenever very less RAM. Okay. So still it is very good operating system to run very basic applications kind of stuff. So Microsoft with agreement with the Microsoft and basic environment kind of stuff. Certain applications not working in XP. Okay, because lot of people using XP as a free, so they launch differently. Next is a Vista. Next is a Windows 7. When Vista is launched, some of XP applications also working in Vista, but not completely. But all of the sudden, Windows 7 is released because of Vista market is a little bit face problem. Anyway, Windows 7 is released. Windows 7 got a more popular in the market, but there is a few flaws in a Windows 7. One is bit version problem. Next, the application in a XP based, sorry, XP based application not run 7. Okay, so there is a two flaws are there in a Windows 7. It is when they launch this one 7 and Pro and enterprises. Okay, so normally mm, Windows XP application not running on not running on Windows 7. That is a one problem they face. They have a old XP, old applications, but they don't want to buy new application for Windows 7. Architectural differences and all. Okay, architecture differences and all. So applications are not running. Next is drivers. Drivers problem is also coming. So most of the drivers are Windows XP drivers only. Drivers. For example, I have a printer. For example, forget about hardware, my normal hardware, but I have a printer that is a very old printer. So I have a XP drivers only. I don't have Windows 7 drivers for that printer. Okay. Okay. Example is printer drivers. Example is like a printer drivers. I purchased earlier, but printer is running. Printer is running. Um, Printer is working good in XP. But when I install a 7, for 7 to the drivers for 7 not build, not at build. Okay, because a lot of people not came out from the XP. If you buy a new printer, maybe you will get a Windows 7 drivers, but it is a world printer. I have only XP drivers only not working. So there are a lot of people put a questions on it. So what they done, so they launch XP mod. XP mod is nothing but a virtual machine, or we can say virtual PC. It is nothing but a virtual machine or a virtual PC. There is a small application is there, virtual PC application. The application name is itself virtual PC. It works in a Windows XP, Vista, and 7. Not work in Windows 8. Okay, uh, it is a very small, very good application. So that application should be installed or directly XP mod is there. You can download XP mod through internet. You need a Windows 7 um, professional or enterprise version. Professional or enterprise ultimate version. So you have to download XP mod. Double click, will install XP mod, and okay, so it will install in your PC and you can run it directly. Here, when I want to access a virtual machine, so I have to go to that virtual machine, right? Like this. So if you want to go to machine in a virtual PC application, same thing only, same thing only. But in XV mode, what will happen? XV mode is a itself a virtual machine, but it is works in a kind of enhanced mode type only. Enhanced mode type only. It means it runs in a background. Applications. Okay, listen carefully. I am running an application in my XV mode. Okay, in enhanced mode. In enhanced mode, I am running. In XV mode means it's a XP virtual machine only. I install some application and I'm running an XP mode. But it won't appear like this. When I want to access application in my virtual machine, I have to open like this, right? But in XP mode, you don't need to open it. It is run in the background. It is there. But this application shows at startup. This is an operating system. You have a startup, right? If you click on a startup button, this application shows here. this application shows in your Windows 7 machine. In Windows 7 startup, this application showing here. If you click on this one, you can open application. So you can open applications. We are viewing application, work with application using Windows 7 only. In a Windows 7 only. Understand? So it is running, it is viewing from Windows 7 only. But actually it runs in this virtual machine, but you can be able to view it. Same thing is like uncompatible applications, uncompatible applications, drivers. We can install in XE mode. So application runs on application drives are run on XE mode. We'll put in XE mode only, but it is look like you are running on Windows 7. Understand, guys? Again, I'm slowly telling this thing. Application and drivers running in XE mode. XE mode means virtual machine. XP virtual machine running inside of XP virtual machine. Okay, but it is look that because of that enhanced mode, it is look you're running an application in your actual desktop. You're running an application in a actual desktop. It's look like you're running application on your desktop, your Windows 7 desktop. You're seeing an application. You're running an application. You're working an application. You create a document or anything completed, right? But actually, it is running in your XE mode. So this is called a application virtualization and desktop virtualization. So this is both are enhanced thing, desktop and application. This is the one mode you can tell about desktop virtualization. XE mode is the one part. Okay, so almost both are almost look like same. I don't know how much you understand, so try it. Okay, I put so many things here. Remote app, remote desktop. Just try to understand what is these those things. Okay. Next one. Next one. Desktop virtualization. Anyway, all are combinedly. I'm telling right. Desktop virtualization. Very simple to tell. First type of desktop virtualization. This is my desktop. This is my physical machine. This is my physical machine. My personal machine. My personal machine. Right. I want to work with an operating system. I want to work with a system. Okay, I can't offer another desktop. I can't offer another desktop. So what I done? I go to an application called VMware Workstation. I go to VMware Workstation or VirtualBox or maybe Hyper-V or maybe Hyper-V. Okay, or Zen Desktop. So no. Zen Desktop comes under desktop virtualization. Again, pure form of desktop virtualization. So I using an application. In this application, I can create a multiple virtual machines like this. Using this VMware workstation, I am created a lot of virtual machines. Different virtual machines I created, right? Linux, Unix, XP, Windows 2003, Windows 2012, Windows 10, Windows Windows 10, Windows Server 2019, 2016, um, CentOS 7, CentOS 6, CentOS 8. Okay, I have I shown ESXi. Okay, so lot of different virtual machines I created. I'm using. Where is I created in my machine, my personal laptop only. Where it is running in my personal laptop only. Where I'm viewing in my personal laptop only. Where it is storing in my personal desk laptop only. So this using an application, user can able to create, manage the virtual machines. So that is also we call it as a desktop virtualization. So there is a 2 3 statements are there for a desktop virtualization. It's a vast subject. Server virtualization is the best one. It is a very simple one. Desktop virtualization is a combination of so many things are there. Anyway, we'll try to get a statement for this one. Okay, like this. So Microsoft earlier they launched virtual PCs. Of course, Hyper-V can use as a desktop virtualization, because if you have a Windows 10 or Windows 8 8.1, you can get a Hyper-V. Okay, in a Windows 8 8.1, Windows 10, so you are getting a Hyper-V feature. So you can create a virtual machines in your machines. As per the definition, this is also considered as a desktop virtualization. Okay, and morning Siddiq, I think, asked question. Hyper-V is a type 1 and as well as a type 2. Actually, it is only type 1 only. It is not type 2. Hyper-V means it's a type 1 only. But why it is you call type 2 also means, I will explain that one. Okay, that is actually very we when we say type 1 means no operating system, only hypervisor. But here operating system is there, and as well as Hyper-V is also there. So Hyper-V is a feature, not an application anyway. So Windows 10, we can install a feature. Okay. Next, Vault type XP, we can able to put a, if you are having a Windows XP from Microsoft, this one, but only supported operating system is uh, older version of XP is anyway we don't know. If you have a Vista, that is a very good, or Windows 7, lower or higher versions, right? But Windows 8 onwards, virtual PCs are not working. 32-bit 64 is available. Okay, so next, VMware workstations, VMware Player Fusion is for a Mac. If you are using a Apple computer, VMware Fusion. VirtualBox from Oracle, Zen Desktop, desktop virtualization purpose, main desktop virtualization purpose. These were application related one only. Okay, like this. Okay. Mm, we have to search where it is. Desktop virtualization having a different statement. This is a NetApp is giving the statement. This is Wikipedia. Desktop virtualization is a software technology that separates a desktop environment associated applications from physical client device that use it to access. It means it separate desktop environment associated application, means it involve both the things. It involve both desktop environment and as well as applications also, applications in the desktop. Like what is a desktop environment? Okay, so what is the desktop user profile data, like that? So that is also separately we are acting, so it is completely intact with the main part. If you want, you can search in some other place, like this is Citrix is given. Let's users simulate a workload to access a desktop from connected device remotely or locally. It separate a desktop environment and from physical client user to access. It's the same thing only. This is okay. You can try to get from something. So in a desktop virtualization, other things also there, as I explained. First one is using of VMware, VirtualBox, or virtual PCs. We can create a multiple uh, guest operating system, multiple virtual machines in your PC. This is also called as a desktop virtualization. Okay, this is also called as desktop virtualization, like this. So I'm typing this one. Create, manage virtual machines in in client PC. Client PC means our PC. Okay, client PC or user PC. You can say user PC, client PC, desktop. Okay, in a client PC. to create, manage virtual machines in our client PC using applications using applications like VMware Workstation machines. Okay, VMware Workstations, VirtualBox, like that. So anything. So we can create a virtual machines. We can manage the virtual machines. What operating system you want? A different type of guest voice. Okay, so we can different type of guest voice we can able to install like Linux, Unix, Windows, or anything we can able to install inside. So that is also we call it as a desktop virtualization. Second one is extracting certain layers like a desktop environment and applications from the PC. Okay. Separate desktop environment associate application softwares from the physical client device that used to access it. Like we are extracting and we are accessing the application remotely. So like that. Also we can say uh, desktop virtualization. Okay. So like using an applications, using a features like a Hyper-V that is considered as a desktop virtualization, or using XV mode, enhanced application running in XP, which is look like running from your start menu. Like in start menu only, it shows some application. Like this is an application, so it is showing here, but actually it is running in my XP mode. So that kind of stuff we also called as desktop virtualization. Another desktop virtualization already I told that one is means application and user environments. We are make that one as isolated from physical machine and access it from anywhere. Access it from anywhere. So this is called a application virtualization and desktop virtualization. Again, I want to tell questions. Generally, when virtualization came up, what is virtualization? What is virtualization? Find out the statement. Try to read two three type of statements, and which one is you can able to understand. You can able to tell about it. That is a correct one. A lot of statements are there in it. So what is virtualization is important. What is virtualization is important. Next, types of types of virtualization. Types of virtualization. Another one is, so in the types we discuss server, desktop. mm, okay, I'm typing first part only. Server virtualization, desktop virtualization. Okay, application virtualization, network virtualization, storage virtualization. These are important virtualizations. Of course, user environment virtualization, presentation virtualization. So many type of virtualizations are there. But in generally, if you type in Google, these things will come up. In my PPT, as per Microsoft virtualizations are given. Each virtualization, you have to tell what it is. What it is. Okay. I am getting cough because continuously speaking. I think so. Okay. In a server virtualization, what type of tools we are using? Okay, so VMware, vSphere, Hyper-V, um, Xen servers, like that. So what servers in a server technology? What is hypervisor? Forget desktop virtualization. Okay, okay. If you are using an application like this, if you are using an application like this, that is we call it as a type 2 virtualization. Type 2 virtualization. Okay. If you are using applications, is called type 2 virtualization. Okay, type 2 virtualization. So server, what is hypervisor, types of hypervisors, type 1 virtualization, bare metal virtualization, also called as type 1 virtualization, bare metal virtualization. We are using a hypervisor here, different type of hypervisors and how to install, how to connect it. Second one is desktop virtualization. Just I want to conclude once. What is a desktop virtualization? Using an applications, if you are creating a virtual machines in your desktop, that is called a desktop virtualization. Okay, operating system install in VM. What are the operating system you are installing in your virtual machine? That is called a guest operating system. Guest operating system means whatever it is operating system, Windows, Linux, whatever operating system you are installing into the VM, that is called a guest operating system. Don't get confused, guys. Guest operating system means virtual machines, operating system, whatever operating system you install, that is called a guest operating system. Second, desktop virtualization. Using application, you create a virtual machines called desktop virtualization. One statement. Second is enhance the desktop. What are the desktop virtual machine? The okay. What are the thing in virtual machines you are extract and using inside of your physical machine, that is also called as a desktop virtualization. And other RDP kind of virtualization, VDI environment, VDA virtual desktop infrastructure is there. So there is another name, it is also there, VDI. So find out what is VDI. Okay. So that is also called as desktop virtualization. To do desktop virtualization compulsory, pure form of desktop virtualization, you need a application virtualization also required. The application virtualization extract a layer connection between your operating system to application. That layer will be become intact, and it application can run your in any environment without not attracting. And the application can be accessed from anywhere using a different connectivity like a remote apps kind of stuff. Okay. Another one important one again, all are important. Server and storage. Whatever you learn in a networking and server virtualization using Hyper-V, you can give all answers like network virtualizations comes with a hardware connector, so we can create a, like a VLANs, virtual LAN. LAN is a switch having a LAN connectivity. VLAN, virtual LAN, means within a physical switch we can create a virtual LANs. So that is I forget to mention earlier. Okay, in a virtual here we have to say point, last point I am telling. So I'm not adding. So VLANs. Also keep it in mind what is VLAN and all. So LAN means physically LAN, virtual LAN. So virtual LAN means in a switch we can separate a switch into multiple LAN networks, multiple signal segments. Okay, but that is not actually, we should not say partitioning a hard disk, VLANs. We should not say that is a virtualization technology, but it is a pre-existing technology only. For example, this is a switch, and you are connected to switch like this. Multiple PCs you are connected. Okay, multiple PCs you are connected. Now you are making a. So this is a before this adding. Before this adding, this is entirely one single LAN network. It means it is single segment. It is a single segment network. Single LAN, single segment network. Now, what I done, all these four ports comes under a virtual LAN. It means earlier these are communicated with these things. Now it is not communicating. Like this, I created another virtual LAN. Okay, virtual LAN. What is this is one line, another line. Now it is got separated. Virtual lines are separated. See, this is one segment. This is one segment. This is another segment. So earlier it is a single line, one single segment only. Now this single physical switch having a two lines, one switch, one line, or combination of multiple switches, one line only, one segment only. But here it is one switch, two lines. But we should consider that one as a network virtualization or not. We don't know, but this is a concept. We can understand the concept like that. Okay, so NIC teaming, NIC teaming, what we use in a Microsoft. In another company, they use maybe different thing, like a group kind of stuff. NIC group, okay, like that. Okay, Ethernet group, Ethernet teaming, or maybe some different names they are using. So one concept is NIC teaming, another one is virtual switches. Okay, guys. Next one is when in any interview or anything, we are working with a VMware workstation. Never say VMware. When I given a training for a HCL people that so many years back, of course, 2017. So when I given training, so one guy I showed lot of practicals in VMware. In interview, he said, "What do you know? Anything? This technology, that technology?" He said, "I know VMware." Okay, so they start asking questions in VMware. Okay, so we are not using VMware. We are using VMware Workstation. VMware Workstation. So you have to tell we done a practicals Windows 10 server Linux on a VMware Workstation. We created a virtual machine in VMware Workstation. We use a VMware Workstation application, and we use here. Okay, and VMware also having a switches VMnet 0, VMnet 1, VMnet 2, like that. VMnet 1, VMnet 2 by default it is um, host related, means physical PC to virtual machine or virtual machine to virtual machine communication type only, like internal switch type. VMnet 1, VMnet 2, VMnet 3 is by default it is a internal switch type only. VMnet 8, VMnet 8 is actually NAT translations, like outside communication, physical network to virtual machines will get a different IP address. NAT translation will happens with a VMnet 1, that is also internal switch with a NAT facility. So that is also we can consider as a virtualization, network virtualization. VMnet 0, you have to bind from your VMnet 0 binding to physical adapter. So then if you are bind automatically, you are bridging it, not binding it, you are bridging it. So then the virtual machine connected to VMnet 0 that can able to communicate outside of the network. And Microsoft external switches, internal switches, and private switches. So this is also considered as a network virtualization. Storage, RAID, LVM, storage space. These are all combining physical disk into one large size only. Second one is virtual virtual disk, like a VHD, VHDX, VMDK, VDI, QCOW2, like that. So different formats of virtual hard disks are there. Virtual hard disk means we can store the data in the virtual hard disk, but for our physical location, the virtual hard disk is just a file only. But virtually, it's work like a virtual hard disk. Okay, so that is fixed disk, dynamic disk. Sorry, fixed disk, dynamically expanding. Dynamic disk is different. Dynamically expanding is different. Dynamic disk means basic disk for a normal disk format, means creating a partitions for simple single disk purpose only. You want to combine multiple disks together, you have to convert into dynamic disk. Dynamic disk we use in a RAID only, one write time only when you combine the disk. That's it, right? So that is about your virtualization.